And we're live, folks. Hello, and welcome to another edition of Not Another Wrestling Talk Show. Take it
Yeah,
away,
yeah.
Mark.
As always, your hosts today are going to be me, Fog Jones, at the Fog Jones on X/Twitter, and the only person I know that can kill two stones with one bird, the Mask J, at Feed Your Mask. And then joining us today, we actually have a very special guest back for another episode, Tim. Tim is known as the leader of the Yeah Revolution. Can be found at Yeah Revolution with an underscore on X and Twitter. Audio difficulty. Tim's going to step out, come right back in, and then we're going to talk about
Yeah,
Crown Jewel. Yeah, we're going to have some fun.
let's have some fun about Crown Jewel. And
Yeah, Crown Jewel last
woo,
night. WWE's premium live event that takes place from Saudi, and
yep,
great
so,
looking show every time. That arena is
oh my
just
God, yeah,
it's beautiful. I mean, it's like
they
it's
treat it they treat
crazy.
it like WrestleMania mainly
Yeah.
because look, it's like WrestleMania because the Saudi pays the Saudi prince pays pretty damn good money for that.
Yeah, I saw a $50 million figure going around the internet. I don't know if that was last night's or if that was a cumulative of like a
That's most
series of
likely.
three. I don't recall, but yeah, big money. That stage, I mean, from a viewership perspective, from when you're watching it on TV, it's just like sometimes it's hard to tell what are digital or like 3D art, like that actual jewel that they had suspended above the ring, which
Mhm.
was not real. There was a moment where I kind of peeked and I was like, man, that looks real. And then
Right?
I kind of took again. I was like, oh, it's not, man. Like they do a really good job with like the visuals of that show.
Oh, definitely,
So,
definitely.
but yeah, so we're gonna get through each match. We're gonna kind of give our reactions and whatnot. We're gonna start this with an overall reaction of the show, just kind of the scraping the top layer, general thoughts. We're gonna rank it. We'll just give Tim another moment here to
No, I mean, we can
get
still
back
talk
in.
about other things still.
Yeah, for sure,
Like,
for sure.
what do you think? What do you think is next for LA Knight?
Don't you think we need Tim for that now?
I mean, he is the leader of the Yeah Revolution, but I want to hear from you. I mean, I know you're kind of butthurt after last night.
Yeah, last night wasn't a good night for me. I mean, the first thing I tweeted out was like, "This is going to be a very short premium live event for me if Drew loses," and he did, and I kind of stayed back in, but I was like,
I
this is
know.
pretty lame. So, but yeah, we'll talk
Poor
about that. I
guy.
mean, I would say the highlight though of the night for me was LA Knight, in that realistically there was just about a 0% chance that he was winning that match, because even if he is top ratings draw, top merch mover, you name it. WWE, part of what makes them successful is their testing. And nobody realistically just hits main event without actually being tested. That's a very common thing. Like few people get that championship match, especially a match of that caliber. You're kind of being like the face of the company, right? Had
Yeah.
LA Knight won, you beat Roman Reigns, who's the guy. Like
I
you
mean,
have to test them.
yeah, of course. Absolutely test them. Yeah, I mean, there's tons for in store for him. I'm sure this was a good test, definitely to a point where you can see that he can hang with the main event crew. He can absolutely carry the crowd some more, especially on
Yeah.
pay per view or PLE, whatever. I mean, he looked great. He he looked
Yep.
like he fit exactly with Roman Reigns, and not many people
Yeah.
can actually do that.
I'll say this. So again, I thought LA Knight was the highlight of the night. I had zero again. Had he won, of course I would have popped. I would have been excited, blah, 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 blah. But like there was zero part of me that was like, oh yeah, he has a chance of winning.
Yeah,
Only because I know better. In my opinion, WWE's product right now is irrationally predictable, but it's also some parts of it are sensible. And like LA Knight, I thought was truly the highlight of the show, because as many people are saying on Twitter, he very much so looked like he belonged. And in my opinion, that was probably the best Roman match since he's returned. That match was really good. It was very
it was.
exciting. There was a lot of action. And to me, most of Roman's matches are horrendously boring. Like especially that match with Jey Uso. Oh
Oh
my
my
gosh,
god.
I thought that was
This
so boring. Yeah,
crap.
but
You and
yeah,
your hatred of Roman, yet your intense love, almost obsession with Drew McIntyre is kinda scary.
good. Keep it that way.
What?
Oh my gosh.
Oh, man, and poor Tim. Tim is
I
having all
know.
kinds of issues right now. He cannot get
I
logged
know.
into our system to join us live right now, but we are going to continue on because the
Yeah.
show must go on no matter what.
Yep.
In that sense,
All right.
until he gets it together, I mean, let's run down,
Yep.
let's run it down.
Yeah. So let's do this. Let's start with let's talk about your overall thoughts of the show, top layer, and let's get a rating, like 1 out of 10. So kick us off. What did you think of Crown Jewel last night? 1 out of 10 rating. What did you like? What did you not like? Go ahead.
Okay, I give it a solid 8. Was it the best show in the world? No, heck no. It was just a solid match that was very predictable, which I've said on Twitter. I've said on pretty much everybody. It's okay to be predictable at times. Sometimes
Sure.
that's what
Absolutely.
calls for
Absolutely.
it, especially as they continue to push and tell the story. Um,
Yeah.
it's just one of those things. God dang it!
I
My
would
favorite moment,
say,
though.
yeah.
What do you think of a favorite moment? I really enjoyed. I don't want to be predictable in that sense. Just say, oh, I really enjoyed LA Night. Well, of course I did, but I actually really enjoyed Seth Rollins. Okay, and his performance tonight. I mean,
It was very good. That match was fantastic, in my opinion.
that was fantastic. And then Logan Paul once again
Logan Paul.
showing up.
Dude, that match was so. I saw people say it was boring. I was like, "You're
What?
probably not watching it."
It was
I don't
it
know how you
okay.
saw that was boring.
So in their defense, it started off kind of slow, just a little
Sure,
slow. And I
sure.
was kind of just sitting there like I was really expecting this to go a lot more fast, and then out of nowhere they just kicked it into overdrive. That was the
Yeah,
best part.
I, I mean, it was a long pay per view, PLE, excuse me, and each match, I didn't clock any of them. I don't have the run times, but all those matches went a good, like I think 15 minutes would have been a short match,
Yeah.
and there was a lot. Like I could imagine them really just having to communicate a lot in that match, and that's probably why they were so slow because there was so much to go over. But yeah. So did you give us a 1 to 10 yet, or are we waiting on
Yeah,
that?
no, I did. I basically said an 8. It's a
Eight.
solid
Okay.
it was a solid match card. It was a solid
Yes.
PLE overall with some really good matches.
Agreed.
Even the surprise of Kari Sane returning to WWE,
Right.
which definitely, I mean, a lot of us saw it coming. We just weren't sure when exactly she was coming back.
Yeah. Yeah. So I have to agree with everything you said. I mean, I don't know if I would give it. I guess it's tough to say. Like I'd give it more like a 6.5, 7. Um,
Okay, you have to also take away your bias of Drew McIntyre.
It's the predictability. Like that is his. Someone said 11 prior to last night, but I'm pretty sure the number is now 8. His 8th time losing a championship match since he lost it to The Miz.
Fair.
He jobbed to Bobby Lashley, I think, like 3 times in a row. Biggie, Gunther twice, technically. I mean, we could go on and on. Roman, of course, and then Seth. And it's like I love his. We'll talk about it, but like I love his character development right now. It just kind of feels like all those other we're supposed to forget about those other times. Like, oh well,
All right.
now we're gonna start doing something with him, and it's like, guys, you just keep doing the same thing, the same thing. So now it's like, here's what I was saying to you last night. We were texting: is if Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins have a rematch,
Mhm.
obviously Drew's winning. Whereas
You
last
think
night would
so?
have been a good opportunity for surprise. Well, if he doesn't, then it's just like he might as well
Man.
just leave. It just doesn't seem the perception for a Drew McIntyre fan, in my opinion, is it just doesn't look like the company cares for him at all. And no matter what he does, it just kind of looks like they don't see anything in him. And that's the frustrating part. It's like we talk about Karrion Kross. I feel the same way about Karrion Kross. It just feels like there's just not a lot of care for him. But so yeah, 6.5 of 7. The matches were good. I will say that Drew and Seth match was, in my opinion, by far match of the night, and all the matches I thought were for the most part pretty good. Um, I thought that match was so good. I'd say my favorite part of it was LA Knight because I knew he wasn't going to win. I knew there was about 0% chance that he won that, but he showed that he can hang there. And that's a predictable aspect of the show that's expected and is a-okay. Like I sure hope nobody went into that match thinking LA Knight should win this because you have to test. He's
Right.
in there against Roman and it's his very first chance there. And that match was great, man. Like I said, I thought that match was so good. It was probably the best Roman match I've personally ever seen. And
Really?
that's a testament to LA Knight. Yeah, I'd say so.
I
The
I
other highlights would be I was very happy about Logan Paul winning because I think that that's a very smart move right now for the WWE. And Kairi Sane, talk about long-term storytelling, intentional or
Yes.
not. But Bailey took Kyrie out, if you recall.
Yep.
And so
Did right
she comes
backstage.
back, and there was little nuance where they showed Bailey's face, and she looked shocked that Kyrie was there, and Io was like totally like in her element. And so my guess is it's leading to a different faction, and it's gonna probably
Correct.
be. I don't know. I don't know how you're going to make them babyface, but I feel like it's going to be babyface. Kind of hard to be babyface when you just wiped out Bianca Belair, unless Bailey's
Really
turning
not that hard.
babyface. Tim,
Hey, Tim is kinda back. I can't hear him yet. There he is.
Tim, we went through the whole thing, so
We basically
we're all
did.
done. No, I'm just kidding.
We basically I fired Mark, or I mean, I fired Frog Jones on air. It seemed fair, but
Yeah.
we were good.
So what we were
We'll be good to go.
So what we
I
started
got
with
it.
was the
Yep,
high
we're in.
level. We're talking about the very high level of the show, just from the back, rate it 1 to 10. The Mass J gave it a 18. No, I'm just kidding. He gave it an 8 out of 10. I gave it about a
Yeah.
6.5, maybe a 7. His highlights and mine were pretty similar. Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre was a great match. LA Knight showing he can really hang in the main event. Logan Paul winning the U.S. Championship I thought was great, and the Mass J mentioned that too. And then of course the return of Kairi Sane. So, question to you is just of the night overall. If you could rank it 1 out of 10, what'd you like? What didn't you like? Some highlights. Take it away.
Take it away.
I think he froze. Did he freeze? Did we
I don't
lose him? I
Sideways
think we
now.
lost him.
I like that he's sideways.
I don't hear him.
I don't hear him.
All
And
right.
this is the fun of live TV. Well, live
Live.
talk show? I don't know.
Yes.
Oh. We had him for a little bit there.
It's like his
What a
phone's
shame.
thinking about it. His phone's thinking about it.
So
So-
maybe you should be on Wi-Fi.
before we went on, I don't believe he caught the first match anyway. Did you catch the match with Sami Zayn and JD McDonough?
Yeah, I caught it.
I saw parts of it. I thought it was a pretty good match. I mean, I think a lot of people in general are just kind of getting tired of the Judgment Day story, just kind of how redundant it is. But I thought it was a good match. I do think JD McDonough is silently a very strong talent. I think he has an insane amount of talent in him. I made a joke out there. I put a gif from Liar Liar, that scene where he comes out of the bathroom all disheveled and he says, "I'm kicking my ass." And I was like, that's what it looked like. It looked like he was Shawn Michaels selling it. If you recall that match with Shawn and
Yeah.
Hogan, where he's just,
Way oversold it, man.
"Jay, bro, you're killing yourself."
Like, what are you doing? How did you manage to do a front flip backwards like that? Anyways,
That's when I was like, yeah, listen, this dude, it's JD McDonough versus JD McDonough.
that's
Tim,
usually.
you're back again.
Let's just get yeah, we can
Hear you and see you. Yeah, you look
You're
good.
about to be
You look good.
back on the air too.
Well,
Yeah.
There we are.
We'll see how long it lasts. But
Okay.
look, my thing with this show was, with the exception of, obviously in my case, the LA Knight match, the main event. I really had no excitement to watch this card.
Yeah.
To me, you're looking at. I mean, this is kind of what those shows are in Saudi Arabia. They're sort of glorified house shows in a way.
Agreed.
So look, overall, from what I saw, and I didn't see the whole thing. I saw the championship match with McIntyre and Rollins, which was great. I saw the Rhea Ripley. What was that? A 4 or 5 women? I think
Yeah.
it was 4. Right?
Five way.
Was it 5?
Yep.
That was what it was. It was good. And Cody Rhodes and Damian Priest was what it was. But my main thing obviously is going to be on the main event, and I was really disappointed with that as a whole. LA Knight was amazing. He was great. He did a great job. I thought the match was well worked. But again, it's more that same old in the main event, and with Roman Reigns' matches. And I was hoping for at least
Oh, did we lose him?
Got that latency kick.
He's sideways again.
I wonder why it does that.
Well, he's on cellular, I think.
Oh, yes, of course.
Very unfortunate today, but that it would be. I mean, if he's working, completely understandable. So did you see that mark that was on JD's side?
Yeah, so that was a match I was kind of in and out of. But then when I did look, like I said, every time I looked over, JD was like hurting himself. And again, like the tip for me was just like that moment where Sammy throws him in everyone saw it, the corner, and he front flips out of it. And then I was like, oh, what is going on here? And then I noticed this massive like welting do you know what that's from?
I have no idea. I couldn't tell. It was like a giant, like almost a rug burn.
Yeah.
Like,
Did
I
he?
have no idea.
Did he hit the rope in like some? I read something that said he hit the rope in some really strange manner where he had to like turn or something.
Yeah.
I didn't catch all of that match, but every time I looked, either something really bad looked like it was about to happen, or JD was doing some crazy type of a sell.
Right.
But yeah,
right.
that was wild to see.
In the meantime, until we get him back, I got this. I'm gonna add the image of JD getting hurt.
Oh, you've got it.
I'm getting it. Oh, that's the wrong button. I'm gonna get the image. Whoops. Welcome back, guys. Sorry for the mess around. I like messing around like this, but this is a very interesting image. I just got it. I just want to put it up on the screen now.
Yep.
If I can. Oh, there it is. Cool. All right. So this bruise, man, like
Whew.
it looks like I don't know, and it got worse like as the final moments of the match happened. It definitely looked real bad.
Yeah,
and you can see him like after he does that weird flip oversell. That's when he put his hand to his side, and it was just like, oh, what'd you do?
I feel for him, man. Today, right now, as we are speaking, like I imagine he had a hard time sleeping, and he's in so much pain. Like I said, I mean, I like to give flowers regardless of, if you're my type, my cup of tea or whatever. JD McDonough, the Judgment Day, not totally my cup of tea. I mean, outside of Rhea Ripley. But man, I mean, I wish the guy the best. He's making a splash already. So good for him. And hopefully that heals up and doesn't turn into something really bad. Let's talk about the first match. We'll just go down the line here. So the first match was Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre. I thought they did a really good job with this feud, and realistically, it's been pretty short. I mean, I think they were only given about 3 weeks or so, maybe 4, but I think it was more like 3 weeks. Maybe it was 4. I don't recall, but just a couple weeks really. And obviously the story was really about Drew. Seth's back healed up as soon as he was done with Nakamura. So apparently once the feud ends, the injury ends. So that was good. So good to see that Seth's back just, once Nakamura wasn't there, it healed. That was good. Very good for Seth. I thought the match was good. Very good, actually. I'll say I thought it was match of the night. What were your thoughts of the match, though?
Of the match? It was good. I mean, it was fine for what it was.
Yeah. You didn't think it was too special or nothing like that?
No. I don't think it was too special.
No, okay. I really thought it was good. I thought they did a lot of good storytelling
Yeah.
in the ring. It was very good to see both guys kind of go out there like they had something to prove. I thought they were going to do something with Drew, being that the story, the No More Broken Dreams, and then Seth Rollins comes out first, kind of all building up to like something special happening.
Yeah.
And part of me wonders if they were putting this together. This is totally speculation, totally out there. Part of me wonders if they had a plan for this match and then scrapped it, kind of like last minute, and then just like, you know what, just play his old music and just have him lose, because it felt like they were building to something special and then just didn't do it.
Right.
Plain old music. Here comes the sword again. Maybe they need more time or want more time to get rid of the sword and change the music or what. I don't know. I just thought the match was good. I do think it's silly that Drew is just like, he's a loser pretty much. He just can't win his
Oh my
matches
God.
anymore.
You Drew McIntyre fans are something special. I'm
It's
not gonna lie.
disappointing. It's
Well,
totally disappointing.
I understand
It's
as
so
a fan
disappointing.
being disappointed, but man, the amount of crying I've seen on X from Drew McIntyre fans is unbelievable. Like, zero patience, zero care about the grand art, the grand story, and I mean, you're kind
Three
of part of that.
years. 3 years is
Years, though?
patience is like 6 months,
Do you
maybe a
think
year,
do you
but
think
3
that Drew
years.
should be the champion and the main guy ahead of everybody else, right?
Oh, 100%, man. They should have pulled the trigger at Clash of the Castle. 100%.
That
100%.
and that's
Not a
where
doubt.
we're at. That's right there, guys. Whoever's live watching this and who will watch this later on, I know for a fact, uh, enjoy, because this is what I put up with on a daily basis.
It's true. And like, for what it's worth, I won't retract what I've said about Roman. I think his reign is just so dry now, and I think it's just
Okay.
like they're doing it to do it. But at the same time, when we talk about LA Knight, I'll say there was a moment last night where I was like, okay, had Roman not retained against everybody, we would not have gotten really to see LA Knight
Big
in that spotlight. But there's a lot of problems moving forward. Not problems, but potential issues, in my opinion. And we'll talk about that
Right.
later. So I did like the match. The next match that came on after that, I believe, was the Women's World Championship Fatal 5-Way, which was
Yeah.
with Rhea Ripley, who won.
God,
Uh,
that was such a fun
Nia
match.
Jax. It was fun. It was quick,
It
right?
was it wasn't too bad, like, and it wasn't that quick, but yeah, it was a fun match.
It was a very fun match to see. I didn't really catch the entrance. Some people were like, "Oh, it was good." I mean, I kind of looked over. I was like, "That's kind of random." Like they're just doing some music, and then her music
Right.
plays, and then she just walks out. I was like, "Oh, okay." Whatever. Sometimes they do it. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes they really think it through, and sometimes they just throw something together.
Really?
Yeah. I mean,
No, that's
I
fair.
don't know. I mean, usually those special entrances to me are really cool when it's like interacting with the actual song. But in this case, it was like, let's do something totally different and unique and then just stop randomly and then play something completely different. So, like, kind of random is what I mean. Again, I didn't really
I
catch
get
the
ya.
whole thing, though. So I'm just kind of like listening. To Tim's point earlier, the 5 seconds that we had Tim on, I did think that the show kind of had lackluster build and it was just kind of like a house show. So I wasn't really too invested in some of the stuff,
No, I
but
feel you there. I wasn't either.
I'm happy that Rhea won, and I do think Rhea is doing a great job. I think, and I have the same opinion about Io Sky. I think they really don't have anything for her creatively. She's
What?
really not doing anything, but just kind of being there. Like from a champion's perceptions, Rhea herself is doing a lot, but she's had how many feuds has she had for that title that like were meaningful feuds?
Oh, for
Like
Rhea,
believable.
absolutely not
Zero,
many.
right?
Pretty much
Well,
zero.
Raquel, right? Raquel, and even
Raquel,
then, I don't think anyone thought Raquel was going to win. So it was kind of more
I
for
mean,
Raquel than it was
I'm with
Rhea.
you. Like, I like Raquel, but I don't see the
Mhm.
big brand appeal of her. Like,
Her
she does
time's
that
not
weird
now.
back
Yeah, her
thing, and
time's
I'm
not
just like,
now.
"What is that? Is that supposed to be sexy? I don't know what's going on here." Like, she's
She
strong.
has a back.
She
Yeah.
has a back, and she has back dimples.
Somebody made a comment that she's the biggest and strongest woman in WWE, and I was like, I would argue that. Have you seen
Well,
Rhea Ripley work out? Because
I
she's a
mean,
freaking
yeah,
beast.
Rhea
Rhea's a beast.
absolutely is. Mommy is
So
always on top.
I don't- another match that you and I had a nice argument about yesterday was John Cena versus
We didn't have much argument
Solo
over it.
Sequoia.
Solo, yeah.
Sokoa. I thought that was pretty lame. Like I kind of watched it. Not a big fan of Cena. Definitely not a fan of Solo. But I'd kind of pay attention here and there. Again, John Cena, they're like, oh, he hasn't won a match in 5 years. Well, this WWE, we're going to make it 6 because it's just way too obvious what they're doing these
Yeah.
days. So good for Solo to beat John
You're talking about-
Cena like everyone else
that's
does.
Everybody else. I mean, not really. It does give Solo a nice rub. Okay.
Does
It
it?
continues the slow growth of his character and who he is, and then the eventual solo career that he will have. It's gonna be
Yeah.
looking better with this one of the wins that he has is against John Cena, and not just against John Cena because of bloodline interference or anything. He beat him clean. He
Yeah.
demolished Cena. It was insane,
I
especially
didn't
that
see it as a
ending.
squash match, though. I
It's
mean,
I
I
didn't
thought
say
the
a
ending was
squash.
squash. No, no, I saw a lot of people on there saying he
People are
dominated in the
crazy.
whole match, and it was like a lot of Cena offense, though.
There
But
was
then it turned around, and then Solo, hit him like 72 times with his thumb that got injured in the beginning of the match, and it was like, so it's not injured. So John Cena did absolutely nothing to him. I don't know. I just thought it was pretty lame. Like I think Solo's going to find himself a really good spot in like the upper mid card, maybe
Yes.
mid card, upper
Yes.
mid card. But I do sometimes feel like they're trying too hard with him.
Maybe. I mean, I can see that in a way. I can see
Yeah,
that.
I don't know.
But again, no matter what, it's John Cena, and he is a legend, and he is one of the greatest of all time. So for
And look
Solo
how it
to
works
pin
for
him,
Austin Theory. To your point, Austin Theory beat him at WrestleMania, and look at the propel it did for him. So
but that's theory. And well,
it's nothing
look,
different.
look who he's tagging with right now. And no, actually,
The
I
greatest
think
of all time in the future.
this is
Grayson Waller.
absolutely great for Theory. Grayson Waller and Theory together are
Agreed.
so good.
Yeah, they're a good compliment
But
to one another.
yeah, I
think.
mean, I can see your point though with Theory wasn't. I mean, he got that rub, but it was short lived. But it also takes
It almost buried
creative.
him. Yeah, well, yeah.
Creative is the one that's got to capitalize on stuff like this. So in this case, Bloodlines, the focus point of the shows most of the time. So
Correct.
you're gonna
Correct.
see Solo continue to expand upon this. If you think
Yeah,
about
I
it.
saw somebody say like at this point is Solo the one that's going to take down Roman. Could you imagine? Like that would just be
I would be
like
sad.
it would be like really.
I
But
really
again,
want.
I wouldn't put it past this creative because as you were kind of talking with Austin Theory, when Triple H first took over and they just insta dropped that selfie gimmick from Austin and they had him grow in some facial hair,
God.
it was like, oh, we're on a good path here. Like Theory kind of was captivating, I think, a lot of people. They're like, he's not taking selfies. He kind of looks better with his little scruff or whatever. And then it was just kind of like they just let that weed keep growing and never checked it or anything. They're just like,
Oh, right,
whatever.
right.
I just not never checked back in on that. And then he just started floundering. So, and then after Cena, it was like, yeah, he's I don't know. I feel
No,
like he's like
I
on the
agree.
cusp of an NXT run.
But-
but I don't know.
Damn,
I don't know.
that's pretty
I don't
sad, bro.
And I like Austin Theory. I'm a big fan.
So am I.
Do
So
you care at all to talk about the segment with the Miz and Grayson Waller? And
oh,
I didn't
because it
didn't
was
really watch
crap.
it. Okay.
all right, that was
I
the
looked
worst
over.
part
I was
of
like, oh,
the show.
intermission.
And look,
Intermission.
I'm a big fan of the Miz. I really am. And Waller is usually hilarious.
Yeah.
Guy's funny.
But it wasn't about them. It was about the other person that I didn't really watch it. So it was about the other person.
Terrible.
Yeah.
And it frustrated the heck out of me. Watching that, I was like, okay, no. What is this crap? And I think a lot of people were expecting somebody else until
Yeah.
this guy came out. And come
Weren't
on.
they trying? And I think they even made a comment about was it Ronaldo they were trying to get?
They were trying to get Ronaldo, apparently, but I can't confirm that. You would have to actually ask somebody with more knowledge of there.
I thought somebody literally made a comment about that during the show, like
Um,
maybe as a joke. I mean, in any
Probably as
event,
a
like
joke.
I felt like it was an intermission slash a quick kind of easy way to kind of force Miz now as a babyface to kind of be like, hey, he's babyface, guys. Hey, he's babyface. Like, it's great. Like, they're
Uh,
like, who's the hottest new heel we got? Grayson Waller. Okay, put him out there against the Miz and make Miz look like the good guy. And what do you think about the Miz going babyface? Do you care?
I don't care.
You think
Again,
it's
I
gonna
like
work?
them. I love the Miz, but I don't think he works as a face. Ever
It'll be interesting.
it didn't work the last time. That's for dang
When
sure.
was the last time? Probably when I wasn't watching. Because I think when
Probably
I
when you
stopped
weren't
watching, he
watching.
was kind of just starting to come in the door.
Mm,
What was he doing as a babyface?
the same act basically. I
Really?
mean, except for he would kind of. It's hard to explain. Like he was, it was a while ago now, but he just did the same antics, but in a different way, wording things to talk about how the fans. He does it for the fans and stuff
Yeah.
like that. But that's just doesn't
Yeah.
work. It's not natural. It doesn't feel natural, and the fans just
Correct.
kind of sit through it.
Yeah. As someone who's never seen it before, and as someone who I'm not like a Miz fan, but I have a ton of respect for the Miz because I do believe that I say this all the time. Nobody puts you over like the Miz.
Sure.
I don't think it's going to work, but we'll see. Like, and they are putting him against or putting him with like super heels. Like Gunther's like a super heel. Grayson Waller is kind of that super. He's that really like he's a heel. Okay, cool. I thought that segment was pretty stupid too, but
Yeah.
whatever. I also didn't really watch it, so I didn't even give it a chance. So I hate to throw that out there like that. But the
Then
next
yeah, I mean,
match
probably
was United States Championship, which was Logan Paul versus Rey Mysterio. Big
oh
highlight
man,
of the night here was Logan Paul wins the title from Rey Mysterio. Fun fact, you have a video. You're the video creator of that moment where Logan Paul saves Rey Mysterio from smashing his face into the mat.
Mhm.
Do you know how many views that video is up to right now?
Okay, let me look this up right now. So that video, which is being used across all of X right now, it's
Ariel
at
Helwani shared it. I think Fightful's using it, right?
yeah, we're at 2.7 million views for this video.
That's crazy.
Yes, Ariel Helwani, Humble Wrestling, Wrestle Ops, Fightful Wrestling, Wrestle Purist. We got random places like Catch News. This account
Wow.
called Drama Alert. And Drama Alert has 1.76 million views on this video
Alone.
alone.
Just that one account. That's crazy. And to back up
Yeah.
for context, so those listening, if you don't remember the moment, there was a moment in the match where Rey Mysterio, I think he went to do a springboard moonsault while
Yep.
Logan Paul was standing there. It looked like Rey cut short on his backflip, and he was going to basically his backflip looked like it was meant to land on the shoulder of Logan Paul, but he
Mhm.
didn't kick off enough. And so he was getting ready to just plummet head first into the mat. And Logan Paul sprints, ducks, and catches him.
Right.
And catches him on his shoulders and basically saves him and the spot. And I immediately was like, that dude just earned an insane amount of respect from everyone. And I think that might have even been a moment for the fans to
I,
truly like acknowledge him as a WWE superstar now too, because he saved Rey Mysterio. So I thought that was a big moment. What were your
it's
thoughts?
not just Rey Mysterio that he saved. It's just
Yeah.
the awareness of being in that ring to
Mhm.
understand what he needed to do to get down, to drop as low as he needed to do to catch Ray before whatever his head hit the mat or whatever it actually was going to end up like. Because it does, if you look over the video some more, it kind of seems like Ray had his hands just about to touch the mat, but it looked like it could have been a serious issue. And
Yeah.
yeah, it wild. But when are people going to realize that Logan Paul is just a natural athlete? You
He's
don't
a
have to
freak.
like him personally. You really don't. He's done some very questionable, shady shit in the past. Let's not kid ourselves. But he is, yeah, a freak. And in the ring, he excels and he fits in the WWE just like he fits in boxing and pretty much anything else he does. But this is really where he seems to excel. It allows, him to highlight how wise he is, how
Yes.
good he is. I mean, he said it best. You know, he's on a different level, and this is just the beginning. And he's going to not just be a part of WWE, he's going to take over WWE.
I could see it. And again, I try to put my business hat on a lot. Um,
Boy,
I
that
want to
business
say he's had 8 matches. This was his 8th match in the
match.
WWE, his 8th match. So you're talking about a guy who has not gone through their developmental, who's had no truly proper fundamental training from start to finish the way that you or I would if we had that opportunity back in our youth or whatever, or just in general. So he's literally a guy who had a podcast, was a boxer, a YouTuber, whatever, and just he's just that good. He's like you
Mhm.
can't deny it. I do believe that kayfabe. I'll say it, shoot and work. I do think that they kind of blur sometimes, and sometimes people
Oh,
just they see someone on TV and that person is so good at being a heel that they don't like him outside of it as well. And to your point, I think Logan Paul is almost the perfect WWE superstar because you can't do what he's really good at in a boxing match or an MMA fight and truly be all that successful. And what I'm talking about is in WWE, you have breathing room. He can body shot Ray, and Ray will take it because he's pulling his punches and doing the right thing. Ray can drop in the corner. Logan Paul can turn around, look at the audience, and say a bunch of stuff and have a moment to to bring this audience in and generate some emotion. You really can't do that in boxing and MMA because you got to keep your guard up, right?
exactly.
So I do believe he was made to do this, and I'm glad he's getting to do this at the same time.
Taking over, buddy. Taking over.
Hey, listen, if he sticks around and he puts in some time, fun fact, the Roman fans are very upset that a part-timer has the US title. Just saying. But
I'm sorry. Wait, what?
oh man, people are like, "Oh, he's not even going to be there." Like, guys, stop
What?
right now. Yes.
Neither
And
is
these are also
Roman.
the same people. The Roman fans are also the same people who hated Brock Lesnar because he was a part-timer. So anyway, hypocrisy aside,
I mean,
Logan Paul's,
yeah,
I think, going to do great things.
I
They straight up
definitely
said
agree.
it.
He will.
Michael Cole said it on commentary. He in the middle of the match, as it was kind of getting towards the end, he made a comment along the lines of he's going to take it with him everywhere. He's not going to stop talking about it. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, he's winning the belt because that's why you give him the belt. But
Yeah. I mean, from a business standpoint, it's perfect. It really is.
free money.
Yeah.
You want some free
Free
money?
advertising.
No? Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so
You're
Logan's gonna
paying
show up
Logan Paul
here.
to be in WWE.
He's gonna show up there. He's gonna show up here, and then he's gonna. Oh, what's that on his shoulder? Oh, that's the United States Championship for the WWE,
Yep.
and he's gonna brag about it everywhere.
Yep. And he legit, in my opinion, from the stuff I've seen, I don't watch a lot of his stuff, but he's always putting over the business. I did watch that
Yeah.
boxing match with Dylan Dennis, and he wasted 0 seconds before putting over the WWE. He didn't even
Yeah.
want to talk about like really the fight. He just went straight to WWE is my home. I'm like, bro, like respect. Like you have to respect that. The guy legit cares about the business. He respects the WWE. He doesn't I hate to bring her up like this because I am a fan, but like Rhonda didn't really seem like she really wanted to be there
Mm,
towards the end. But like Logan, I think the opposite. I think he really, really enjoys his time there. And so yeah, he's gonna bring it everywhere.
yeah.
If you're already gonna hire the guy, give him a belt.
He,
There you go. Um WWE Women's Championship.
hell yeah.
Io Sky versus Bianca Belair. It was, I think, Bianca's first singles. No, not first singles match back, but it was her first title match back. Right? She just came
Oh,
back
yeah.
a couple weeks ago, and she beat Bailey the night before with after that wicked hair whip. I love that. I mean, it's gotta hurt, but I love it. And then she faced Io Sky last night. Io Sky wins with the help of a returning Kyrie Sane. There's a lot to unpack there because that story is pretty long and pretty complex, I think, at this point. So
Yeah.
what did you think of the match and what are your thinking? What is your thought process now on that story?
So let's get one thing clear. Bianca Belair is so good at what she does in that ring. Absolutely.
Oh yeah, she's
And
freak.
before Bailey came out, the match was pretty solid. The moment that Bailey came out, it definitely felt like, uh, maybe Io just works better when someone's there to watch her back and helps her out there all the time. I mean, it almost like she was too big of a distraction, and some of those camera angles last night proved that she was a distraction for the viewers. But that's something else, and it's but the real exciting part, yeah, was the layers that are gonna come from Kyrie Sane being back. I mean, there's a lot of layers to that. If you just look
Sure.
at the reaction of Bailey after that the match ended and Io and Kyrie were in the ring. Oh man, yeah, there's gonna be a lot of fun coming up and a lot of new interesting names coming back or debuting.
How do you think? So here's what I'm interested in. And as I was talking about earlier on in the show, like Io Sky had a record reign in NXT, correct?
Uh, Io,
When she
yeah,
was Io Shirai.
I'm trying to
I think
remember.
she's got a she might have the record there, or at least at one point did.
Isn't that
But
Oscar?
Asuka too, but I thought Io Sky. Anyway, Io Sky is known for being a great NXT Women's Champion.
Yeah,
I'm not. I don't watch a lot of NXT, so I didn't watch during that time. But with Io, since she won it with her Money in the Bank briefcase cash in, she also hasn't had like they haven't really done much truly with her. It's kind of the same thing with Rhea. Like the damage control story is there, but there's been almost no has he who has EO feuded with, like one on one.
one on one.
She's had that belt for like 2-3 months. Yeah, so you can't
Oh,
even think
nobody.
that's what I'm saying.
I mean,
Are they
nobody.
failing? Are they failing their women's champions? Yes and no. Yes, because there's been no meaningful feuds for either of them. No, because both of them are still in somewhat prominent spots, but still,
Yes.
like give them more feud. You know what I'm saying? So, but with Io, here's what's interesting is last time we saw Kyrie Sane on WWE television prior to her return last night, she was taken out by Bailey, and at that time, Kyrie Sane was Asuka's tag team partner.
Hmm.
So now you have
But
Asuka, who's a heel, but
so
also off TV.
and okay, so to kind of touch base further back with the layers of this,
Mhm.
um, Io Shirai or Io Sky, whichever you'd like to call her, she debuted in NXT in Takeover War Games, where her
Okay.
and Dakota Kai came and saved Kyrie Sane during her match with Shayna Baszler. So where does
Okay.
Dakota fit with all this? If you think about it, another layer on top of layer on top of layer. Where does Dakota go? Does she go with Bailey or does she go with Io and Kyrie?
Yeah.
Where that's the fun of this. They really added something to
Yeah.
this.
That's what I was saying is like to me that was one of the bigger highlights because there's a lot of questions and I think they made the right call of not just having Kyrie come back, but a lot of times when someone returns, they return in the same spot they were before. And when you weren't in a position you wanted to be, or you weren't in like a top position and then, and you come back to exactly where you were, you're
Right.
basically just saying, I'm just back to do nothing again. Whereas in her case, she was always, and again, Kyrie Sane, I think was, I know she was active when I was not watching. And then when I started watching, she was kind of on her way out. So correct me if I'm wrong. She's never held a main roster championship, like a women's championship. She's held tag team title with Asuka, right?
Correct.
Okay. So now she comes back and she's aligned with Io Sky, who's the current champion.
Hmm.
She's already aligned now with a champion, and there's now a new story that can unfold. And so my guess, she, Io, Kyrie, and Asuka, who's also a heel, are probably going to have something going. And I don't know. I'm interested because, like you said, Dakota's injured, but she's got to be coming back. I feel like Dakota's gonna go baby with Bailey.
Think Bailey's? You think they're going to be the baby faces?
I don't know. What else do you do? Like, how do you have Io Sky and Kyrie Sane demolish Bianca after the match. That's like heel booking 101 is have them win a match and then beat the person up at. It's like bloodline stuff, and then cheer them on now. I mean, Bianca's like she's like the other face of the company. You know what I mean? She's like the what's that?
I said I get you, I understand, but I just don't see it.
I would love to see Bianca go heel. Yeah. Okay. Do you so you already have this alignment now between Io and Kyrie? Do you see them forming a faction, or do you think it might end up being a swerve where Kyrie wants Io's title?
Faction.
Faction. Okay.
Oh, absolutely.
It's the smart thing to do, right? Because you can start a new faction and then have a feud with the old faction and prolong that for a couple months, and then eventually lead to Io versus Kyrie, maybe WrestleMania time, something like that. That would be pretty cool, wouldn't it?
I mean, it would definitely.
The little bit I saw of Kyrie before she left the WWE, I always thought to myself, there's a talent that really could be propelled a lot higher, and for whatever reason, they just weren't doing it. It's great.
That elbow drop.
She's got a good presentation. I'll be interested to see what theme music they give her. I always thought she was great in the ring. I hope to see her go. Love to see her capture a title herself. So I'm interested to see where that goes. Any other thoughts on that before we get to the worst match of the night that nobody watched?
No, I mean, that's obviously I'm excited for the future for Io and Kyrie as well as Bailey and Dakota. I mean, the whole layers thing is just going to make things really fun and exciting.
So we might even be able to skip this because I didn't even watch it.
Absolutely skip this because
did you see it? Did you see Cody Rhodes versus Damian Priest?
I missed it. I had to deal with something away from my TV at the time, and it kind of frustrated me.
Yeah, so did I.
I
had to deal with not watching that stupid match.
They were like, "Oh, it's over." I was like, "What?" But I just got here. Oh.
I heard it was a pretty quick match. I mean, again, that's kind of like those two that match and then Roman LA Knight. Like, I don't mean to be rude, but I really hope nobody went into those matches thinking the other person was going to win, because there's just no way that was going to happen.
Exactly.
So, okay, skip. The last match. This is going to be weird for me because I'm used to coming on here and being like the anti-Roman. And I'm basically going to have a lot of praise for this match, but the undisputed WWE Universal that championship, whatever other words they throw in there, Roman Reigns defeats LA Knight. Big shocker for me. I don't believe there was a ref bump. Did you see one?
There was no ref bump.
So we're looking at like a 38% now instead of a 44 or something like that.
Boys, girls, we did it. We got a Roman match without a ref bump.
Wreck everyone and leave, baby.
We had a ref distraction. It's a ref distraction.
Yeah,
that's what we had.
What did you think of the finish? Because I'm seeing a lot of talk online that people are saying it wasn't. LA Knight wasn't strong enough in favor of Knight, and I thought it was. I get it was repetitive. I get the repetitiveness, of course, distraction, bloodline, and blah, blah, blah. I get that. But as far as directly, it making LA Knight look bad, I didn't see that. What did you think?
I didn't see how any part of that match made LA Knight look bad. I mean, we already touched base on this whole thing already. What somebody explained to me how. Like, it's just not possible.
I mean, Roman flew. Yes, and Roman flew at him and speared him through the barricade, and then I think he did it again, right?
Then
didn't he spear him on the inside?
Yeah. What else?
I mean, like,
you want him to kick out at 2.99999 again, make it look like a Young Bucks match?
Oh,
is that what we're doing? We're trying to make this AEW?
Yeah.
Sometimes things just need to end after a nice, solid finisher. And Roman's main finisher, guess what, is the spear.
Yeah.
So what do you...
I joked. I think I texted you this. I was like, yeah, I did. Roman in like the middle of the match. It wasn't actually that long into the match. He hits a Superman punch. And it was like a good pin. Like LA Knight did a good job of holding on for a second there.
Oh yeah.
And I texted you, I was like, oh, the match is over. Like, what if he just Superman punching the stupidest move in WWE and he won? Can you imagine the internet reaction if LA Knight got beaten like 8 minutes after a Superman punch? Oh my
I
God.
Yeah, the vocal minority would definitely be up in arms right now.
Oh my God, that would have been crazy. But like LA Knight, that match just opened up, and then LA Knight came out swinging, like literally, and
Oh,
it was a fun match. It was a good match. I thought it was well put together. And to be honest with you, this might be the first and the last time I say this, but I thought that the interference, the ending, I thought LA Knight losing, I thought all that was the right call. And not that I would have been unhappy if he won, but again, your business hat on, how many wrestlers do not get tested before they win that title? The list is probably short. It's probably like Brock Lesnar. And we talked about this on a different episode, but not many win a main event title of that caliber in their very first shot. And the head of the table gimmick is really not even a gimmick. It's true to
legit.
the business. It is true that he is the head of the WWE.
Roman is at the top, and if you want to be, grabbing that back brass ring, you gotta beat Roman. And the
Yeah.
only way to do that is to get tested and to continue to shine. It's something that LA Knight's going to continue to do. And
Yeah.
if you guys think that's him getting buried or him, you know, getting thrown to the bottom of the list, nah, think again. Nah. He
Nah.
is going. He's keeping going. I promise you, he's gonna keep on pushing through. And I wish that Tim was here. Unfortunately, with the idiot issues with his audio and internet,
Yeah.
he couldn't be here completely for the whole show.
We'll get
But
him on another
Tim would
time. We'll talk about it.
Tim would have said it best that LA Knight is going to keep on going. The revolution's not going to stop. It's not going to end. And you're going to see him take that belt, one of those belts, sooner rather than later. Yeah.
The discourse that I see, I agree with you. Again, from a business perspective, you got to think: are you running this company, and what are the decisions to make? You have to test. If he loses, and his t-shirts now are number 5 instead of number 1, that goes to show you that fans only liked him as a winner, which isn't true, because LA Knight was a loser when the fans started getting behind him. He was a jobber. I mean, realistically. So, but you still have to do that main event test. You got to see, you can't just be like, oh yeah, he's going to do great. No, you have to see him in the main event. You have to see him under those lights. You have to see him standing in the ring with Roman. Is he shaking? Is he holding? And he pulled it off. But again, barring injury, that's not an audible you call. This isn't the what like the U.S. title, the Intercontinental title, even the World Heavyweight Champion. This is the helm of the WWE that you're fighting for. So,
patient.
From what I've seen from LA Knight, I see this as just another way for him to just it's like I think he's going to be reignited from this loss, because now he's gotten a taste for it, and now he really is going to want it, and that's, I think, going to be what makes him stand out.
Yeah.
Do you have any predictions on or thoughts in general on LA Knight being the one to take down Roman? Would you be happy if it was him and not Cody that wins the Rumble and takes out Roman at Mania, if that's happening?
Absolutely would prefer it over Cody. And I love Cody. And I want Cody to finish his story. I just would prefer it to be LA Knight, because LA Knight has a shorter time span left. Okay. To keep going at this level.
A couple years, maybe he might have 2.5 years on Cody, right? It's still shorter, and when you're in that age, every day is a potentially last day.
Exactly, and Cody's just got more time, guaranteed. He's going to keep on going.
Agreed.
For a very, very, very long time, and Cody's going to finish his story. I just want it to be somebody other than him, but mainly LA Knight, or drop and give it to Karrion Kross. That would be nice.
We can't get what we want, bro. We can't get what we want.
All I want is Karrion Kross on TV all the time to showcase what he is capable of. And a lot of people are going to hate on me for this, because there's a lot of haters of Kross. But Kross and Scarlett, they have the imagery, they have the characters, they do have the talent. They would be perfect. They just need WWE to step it up, get that story. give them the story.
Yeah, I think I've told you this a few times. Like I fantasy booked Karrion Kross's first match to be against Roman at like a B-level pay-per-view or something where it was the main event, and that I actually fantasy booked his like literally he debuts to the main roster against Roman as a surprise opponent for him. That entrance and everything, he could have lost or won that match as if that was their first introduction and it was that entrance, that display on that stage. I do think that things would have been a little different. I thought the way they handled him in the beginning was so poor. And the second he was in the middle of that Drew feud, I was like, well, clearly Drew's losing because they're already setting up a feud here. And at that time, people were, the Drew fans, myself included, were kind of like, this isn't the territory you need to start in. I think him against Roman would have been a lot better, but can't erase it. Now he's trying, he's doing his best.
I think Drew killed Karrion's push.
I agree. I think that was a terrible.
Yeah.
I think that was a terrible way. Even giving Karrion Kross a win wasn't going to work. Not at that time. Now, I will say this. I thought, and part of the reason I did want Drew to win was I thought it would have been really cool for that to be his first feud, because that's still Karrion Kross's first feud in the main event against a babyface, Karrion Kross being the heel. And then his very first feud on the main roster against Drew, I thought would have been really good if Drew was the champion, because you're still propelling Karrion Kross to the main event, but you're not like intertwining, and you got to think like there's a lot of disappointment that comes off of the way they built Drew at Clash at the Castle for him to lose, and then he's feuding with Karrion Kross. People were like, "F this!" Like I'm good on that. I agree 100%. I do think you're right. I think that killed it, but he also had Vince kill his push too in the beginning, where he gave him his bondage straps or whatever, and.
Look, we don't talk about that. We don't talk about that.
We're pretending that never happened.
It never happened because he was released after that, and he came back now, and he
doesn't count.
Right back to being Killer Kross.
Never jammed to Jeff Hardy's OG theme, not OG, but like his No More Words.
I did.
I thought all of that was terrible booking, bro. I thought all of it was terrible stuff.
It was so bad.
But yeah, so I agree. I thought the show was good overall. I do agree with Tim's point. It did really kind of feel like a special house show. I thought the presentation of Crown Jewel was really cool. I thought they could have done a little bit more creatively with a thing here or there, like maybe one or two special entrances different, because, they want us to believe it's like a WrestleMania.
Yeah.
That said, their WrestleManias, like maybe last year and the year before, they really didn't have a lot of special stuff happen either. But where do you think we go from here? Are there any stories that you're really keen on? Is there anything you'd really like to see that you don't know that is going to happen?
That's a tough call.
What do you think they got to do with LA Knight now? He just lost. So how do you keep him hot right now? You think Logan Paul?
Yeah.
US title?
If you're going to do something, do something. And
okay, I mean, it's November though. So are you thinking
long-term build, man? WrestleMania, Logan Paul versus LA Knight. That's what I want to see. With Logan going over. Or not Logan going over, but LA Knight.
LA Knight.
If I said Logan going over, that people would probably kill me.
Yeah, you better watch it on that one. It'd be a good feud though, right? It'd be a good feud.
Be great because they both can talk.
Yeah.
Mind you, LA Knight's way better talker than Logan is, but it would be good.
Yeah.
And they could steal the show.
And you're thinking Mania is the time to do that?
I think Mania is the time for that. In the meantime,
thank you.
Just keep on going after the bloodline some more. Screw it. But don't go after Roman. Go after Solo. He just beat John Cena. Go get him.
So maybe get like LA Knight in a mini feud with. I don't know that Jimmy has any weight to him at this moment, like in terms of. Yeah, like kind of people caring about him. Like it's like JD McDonough, but
feed Jimmy off to LA Knight.
Like on a TV show, right? But build up, like maybe give a mini feud with that bloodline, like you said. But really, it's to get to Solo. at a pay-per-view and then give him that win and then slowly build him for Logan Paul, right? Like maybe we have Logan Paul eliminate LA Knight from the Rumble like he did
Yeah,
Seth
something
Rollins
silly
set up
like
that
that.
match. I like
You know
that.
what?
I think that's a great way to go. If
No,
they're
I
not
think
ready
they're
to
gonna
put the
they're
belt on
gonna
him right now, I think that's the way to go.
they're gonna go with Jimmy, I think. I think they're gonna have him. I mean, Jimmy's the one that really kind of cost him the match. It wasn't Solo.
Yeah, but excuse me, and you could, right? Because it's
Makes
November,
sense.
so we have what do we have 3 pay-per-views left till Mania?
Yeah,
We have Survivor Series, possibly a day 1 type pay-per-view.
no.
Royal Rumble, of course. And then February, don't they do Elimination Chamber? So if there's 4 pay-per-views, if that's the case, till WrestleMania.
Man.
So maybe one of them coming up, it's LA Knight and Jimmy, and then the next one it's LA Knight and Solo, and then they kind of walk away for a minute from the bloodline because Royal Rumble,
Yeah.
Logan Paul dumps him over because maybe Logan Paul, despite being the US champion, is still kind of jealous of all the attention that LA Knight's getting, right? Something like that.
Something ridiculous like that.
I'm with it.
They
Great
absolutely
job
can.
booking that.
We
Great
did
job
it.
booking that.
All right,
What
everybody.
do you see for Bianca going forward? She just came back to WWE television. She loses.
Well, we're on the back burner.
You think so? Back of the line?
I think back to the line, and no, the reality is they're probably gonna shove her with like. I bet you they're gonna shove her with Bailey in a battle against, you know, Io and Kyrie. Man,
Those two tagging
that would
instead of being
enemies. Yeah, that would be wild.
On the down low, this is an interview for a creative position, and you're doing really well.
I'm doing terrible.
No, this is
Love it.
good booking. It's very WWE booking. So booking Bailey to tag with Bianca makes 0 sense, and therefore it's 100% what they're going to do. It's
It
it's
makes
100%.
100% sense if you think about it.
It does. It really does.
It really
WWE
makes sense.
logic.
Well, you know what? This is
think it's good.
WWE, so guess what? It makes sense then.
But then where does Dakota fit in?
She's still injured. I mean, when she comes back, that's the real big question. Does she fit
So
with
in
her
the
old friend?
meantime, they kind of delay that story while Dakota's injured, and then have Bailey and Bianca work together,
Mhm.
kind of like Becky and Bianca.
And
kinda-
everybody else and Bianca.
Yeah, every heel that's just been so mean to Bianca eventually stands up and is like, "Yeah, now we're friends."
Well, yeah, it's
Where,
the respect factor. That's why.
Yeah. Do you see where do you think we go with Rey Mysterio? Because clearly Santos Escobar intentionally gave Logan Paul those brass knuckles. So what do you think comes next for
What?
that story?
What-
Santos
oh, could we
Escobar
watch that match again?
legitimately held the brass knuckles and just put them right where Logan Paul was about to be for the 619. He just put like, here, let me put these down so I can chase
Hey, so
after
That's pretty much what he
random
did.
guy. Yeah, random guy number 7. You know, like I don't need these. Like,
Yeah,
I
maybe-
don't want them on me.
Maybe they'll go with finally turning the LFO heel.
Oh, you think so?
I
The
mean, that would probably
LWO
make
going heel?
or LWO. Yeah, make them go heel.
Keeping Ray babyface though, and it's LWO versus Ray.
Kicking Ray out and be like, you know what, you're a washed up, has been old legend. You don't belong with us anymore. We're the future. We're everything.
Okay,
That's pretty much.
I think that's I think it's the obvious choice. I think it's a good choice. I don't think there's really much else you can do with that story. I think that's a good idea. So
again, predictability. It makes sense. Do it.
yeah, and I would say, you know, because a lot of matches and a lot of not big feuds, a lot of feuds don't really make it to the PLEs. I mean, Gunther hasn't been on a PLE since Mania.
Making them feel special, man.
Right. So you don't have to have every, let's say, big feud, and I do think that would be kind of a big feud, but it could culminate at WrestleMania with Santos versus Ray. That's a long. I mean, they can do it. It's 5 months or so away, but they could do it if they do it correctly. Then that could be the passing of the torch. You know, Ray giving Santos a big win, and then maybe a handshake at the end. What are your thoughts of Damian Priest now? Sami Zayn came out and took his briefcase. Like, personally, I have probably negative interest in this point at seeing Damian Priest win a world title. Like I just don't think I
So
don't think I
depressing
care.
that you think that way.
Yeah, no, it's not.
Like,
It's the
it
right way to
really is.
think.
It's
It's
really
not.
not.
It's the right way to think. It's the right
You're
way to think.
crazy. You're so
It's the
freaking
right way to think.
crazy.
So what do you
Pri
think though? Like what do you want to see?
I wanna see Priest, cash in and fail. That's what I wanna see. I think he
Okay,
fails the
I'm
cash in.
with that. I'm with
But
that. I think it's
but it
totally
doesn't
being
change the
set up
fact
for
that
him
he
versus Finn.
is the future. He's a part of the future of, the main event scene.
Upper mid card, not main event.
Main event scene, guaranteed.
It's not gonna happen.
Mm,
I
will.
do kind of like the idea of Finn costing Damian his cash in, and I do think that's what they're building to because
Yeah.
Judgment Day is good and not good. So I don't want to see him fail per se, but I think that's the best option for that story. And
For
I
now,
do
yeah.
think that when I was watching that Money in the Bank match, I did, I, I think I was with everyone else preferring LA Knight win, but I also didn't think that there was really someone who really was going to win and win with the briefcase. So I do think what they're doing right now was kind of their only option and best option. When we see it, I don't know. Is it still a year? You have a year, right, to cash that in?
Yeah, you're supposed to have a year.
The women's contract has what, like 36 hours on it?
I believe that's only you have 10 minutes to decide, and you just gotta do
10
it.
minutes. Once you on the women's roster, you
Hey,
win that.
really
You better cash
rush
it in right
that.
now.
I love
Oh,
to rush that.
only every single year. No,
Except for EO. EO took her time. And see
but
what
even
happened.
then, what was it? It was like a month, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's
It was
longer,
not very
right?
long. Realistically, it could have only been
Longer
3
than
weeks.
10.
I don't remember, but something about that women's briefcase, it's just like it's just shaking. They gotta get rid of this thing.
It's just bad luck.
It's bad. The women's tag titles are cursed. That's a fact.
That is true, except for you have Chelsea freaking Green holding it, and that's all that matters.
Which is interesting because she, prior to her return to the WWE, when she was in WWE before getting released this last time, she was cursed herself. Every time she
Really?
stepped foot out there on the main roster, she was getting injured.
And now look at her go.
Yeah, and now she's
Killing it.
despite being just essentially a jobber, she's doing such a good job and making the most of it and smiling the whole way. I think she's doing such a good job. Yeah, she's won a match. Like she's like one match, I think, out of her last 13. I agree.
But she is the WWE Women's Tag Team Champion. Well, one half,
Yeah.
and Matt Cardona, who's the other half, apparently. In some way, shape, or form, former WWE talent. Yeah, just because he's married to her. Man, he likes to flex that, and I am all for him flexing that.
He's really funny.
That is great.
I'm actually still surprised to this day that WWE has not made a play to get him back.
I mean,
maybe they have. Maybe they have.
They really have. He's just
They
having
have.
a lot of fun right now in the indies, man. Really, he's having a lot of fun.
He's a good follow too. I mean, he's really interesting to see, and I think I get where he's coming from. I really, he's kind of said in the past like Zack Ryder is just not something he wants to do again, and I respect that totally. And I think it would be a shame to bring him back as Zack Ryder.
I think you might be wrong in that. I just noticed this tweet. I wonder if I can pop the tweet on here too. This is gonna be funny if I can get this to show everybody. I mean, I'm sure everybody's already done it, but you're gonna.
Is this about Matt Cardona?
Yeah. Let's see if I can get that on.
Something I missed. I can browse.
I don't think I can get it.
His X right now.
Hey.
What was it?
I can get it on the screen.
Oh, can you?
Yeah. And I wish I can get rid of fucking X's crap. And pardon my French, but I hate X in so many ways. But
Was
for
it
everybody
the post that
watching,
he?
it says keep moving forward, always ready,
Yes.
still here. Yeah, tell me.
And he did say my goal is make money.
Yeah.
He did do a podcast with Swerve Strickland.
That he did.
Okay. I don't know. There's been a lot of teases, and I actually tweeted out I had discovered a trademark that he had filed. I want to say it was last year's Royal Rumble where he trademarked Zack Ryder, I think, and he trademarked like woo woo woo, and he put that for like bandanas and all kinds of stuff. And
Yeah.
then it turned out he was just kind of trademarking the stuff himself for, I don't even know why. I actually don't know why, but I feel like it's just inevitable before he comes back. But like
Why?
Zack Ryder, I don't know.
Why
I just
would
feel
he?
like
Why does he need to come back?
I don't think he needs to come back. I think it would be cool if he came back because he's reinvented himself. And I still think Matt Cardona is the way to go if that's
I agree with
what he
that.
looks like. That's what he looks like.
This
He's
is who
put
he
on
is
some
now.
size. He's just a totally different animal, it seems, than when he was Zack Ryder. So I think
Yeah.
it would be cool to see him come back.
Be all down
Oh.
as long as they bring Steph Delander too.
I mean, they're doing a lot on the indies. You know, they're the sad news to Matt Cardona coming back to the WWE is people like Matt Cardona make the indies. They make the indies. They make the indies look good. They make it look like a cool place because he's
Yeah.
essentially refusing AEW and Impact contracts to be a free agent this whole time and just be on his own and like loving the indies and doing what he does. And
Enjoying himself.
yeah,
I mean, you can't fault the guy for that either.
no, I mean, at the end of the day, you want everyone to have a good time, right? So
Yep.
enjoy what they do. I think that's it. We covered all of Crown Jewel. We talked about what we want to see moving forward.
This is a long show today.
Yeah, it was, and it was an okay event. I mean, I personally didn't have crazy expectations for it because the Saudi shows tend to be, as Tim mentioned, glorified house shows, but the matches were good. And that's really what you should, I think, at this point come to expect from WWE is their television shows, Monday Night Raw, SmackDown, even NXT to a degree. But mainly those two shows, they're really story based, not a heck of a lot of wrestling, and the matches you do get are story based as well, very much like to build up to the premium live events.
Mm-hmm.
And then those premium live events roll around and you get these really good matches. And I thought most of the matches were pretty darn good last night.
Very solid pay-per-view overall. Can't complain. Outside of LA Knight not winning, outside of Drew McIntyre not winning, you can't really complain.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah.
Good wrestling. That's
it was a very good night. We want to thank everyone for joining us. We will get Tim back on. Maybe we'll shoot for next week if he's available. We want to get some of his thoughts on some things because there's a lot of big stuff happening still with what he's doing. In the meantime, our show is growing really well. We're very happy about that. Thank you, everybody. That's probably the best way to support us right now is subscribe to the YouTube, listen to us on YouTube and Spotify, give us a thumbs up, hit the bell. The Mass J is working his butt off over there, making clips, doing all kinds of video editing. And then, if you want to support us further, we have a buy me a coffee at Knots, NAWTS. That is the brand. So, thank you for everyone. And we're just going to keep growing, keep kicking away. And we have a lot of new guests lined up, a lot more stuff to cover. And we're just going to keep going. Did I miss anything?
No, that covered it all. Thank you all for coming. Thank you all for watching. I appreciate it. I am the Mass J. That is the Fog Jones. And in the middle over there is Prince Nana doing the Nana, of course. I hope you all have a great night. Enjoy the rest of your evening.